Right, welcome back. Last time, the focus was mainly internal stuff. I focused on repealing certain noble privileges, specifically rural autonomy, and started attacking their tax avoidance. In fact, I had just done so when I had finished off, so the whole privilege thing hasn't actually updated. So it doesn't show that it's now on tax exemptions 2, rather than 3. I've also went for noble administration for noble obligations, maxing that out, and slightly reducing their gravity. Though I'm gonna need to start attacking their power base. There's 2 ways for me to do that. The first way is to allow peasant freedom to naturally grow in order to reduce the amount of money they get from noble dues, slowly weakening the amount of power they get from money. And the other way is to directly attack them, which will cost loyalty. Yeah. Or indirectly attack them by repealing the privileges that allow them to avoid taxes, which means not only do I get more money in my coffers, it comes out of their coffers. I also have an available idea group from tech, and I've managed to embrace both commercialization and casual literacy. The latter was especially easy because I had more than 1 per month in the capital and Angkor, and those 2 provinces are enough to fulfill the 10% after development. I'm hoping to get scientific methods soon-ish, but it's not nearly as fast as casual literacy was, so it's going to take another decade. But at that point, that will be most of the tech negatives outside of global trade and Colombian imports. And global trade takes forever to get. Especially since I don't have the force limit, the naval force limit to really work with it. I'm gonna need time building up a naval industry for that. Although thankfully it does seem to be building up. Probably work on building up harborage infrastructure inside of provinces like this one, which will allow me to build up. In fact, I could do that right now. In theory, I could also do that with river ports, but river provinces will provide 10% of the listed values for naval force limit. Yeah. So if I really want a navy size, I should focus on these 2 provinces. Why is the amenities so much different? I guess I must have decayed here. I thought it was higher, but I guess not. Oh, apparently I need 17, so never bothered to do it, apparently. Oh well, this province can also be a source, even if it's not nearly as populated. Bridge to rank 3. Our bridge is very cheap, honestly, which is good. Ooh, extra points. I'll take it. As for cultures, Jam would be a good idea. After all, I literally own all the cultural provinces. That does mean it won't get any bigger, but Paraculture is fairly tiny. I already have Khmer and Khmu and Katu, although Khmu is probably going to start disappearing eventually. Okay, 50%, yeah. Banhar is also all of it, same with Kin. Kin culture? Oh, that's Vietnamese. I mean, eventually. It would be smart, but... I would have to wait for China to collapse before attacking Dai Viet, or Dai Viet somehow managing to get their independence. somehow. But it's great to see it. What are the chances that I can actually manage to take them down? Minimal. China is just too tough to beat. Okay, so yeah, autonomy is too high, so I can't do those reforms, even if I wanted to. Pretty much the only thing I could do would be to guarantee livable salaries, which would help with corruption, but right now I'd rather do provincial reform. Okay, so instead, I should continue attacking tax exemptions. Yield concessions, nature liberties, that one's really cheap because centralization gain is rather pointless under most circumstances. I am not spending 1,100 ducats for that. No, it's just a bit too much. Promote and support commerce. Perform a show of devotion, at least those groups are loyal. Expand our authority. Reduce tributes. And permit the old ways. I think I should grab at least the first 3 innovativeness ideas. Institutional learning. Tutors might make for decent educators, but there is a special quality to an academic tradition and institutional memory developed over centuries, which they lack, that many students would become better thinkers for absorbing. Knowledge output plus 10%, yearly prestige plus 0.15. Truths and falsehoods. All forms of censorship make it harder for administration to improve. Even when our opponents are wrong, we must still examine their ideas to understand their mistakes, so we can avoid them. Military science. There's much talk of God. There's much talk of an art of war, but an artist without a medium is worthless, and properly managing soldiers and supplies is no art form at all, but the product of tireless study and optimization. I mean, I do need Diplotech, but I don't need it yet. I think it would be better just to wait and just grab the next patent tech for now. Head librarians. In 1575, Hugo Blotius? Austria. Okay, so it's probably a Germanic pronunciation. Blotius? Hugo Blotius was appointed the first head librarian in Austria, to be in charge of the royal libraries there. Among his duties was to add to the collection. This began the systematic collection of books in libraries that was to expand them from small collections to massive institutions. Yearly corruption minus 0.02. Paper cartridges. Paper cartridges allowed troops to fire and reload faster. First introduced by the Polish Piotr Wybraniki. Wow. That is a mess of letters, but it's Polish. Trying to adapt the Slavic language to Latin characters only is not perfect, but paper cartridges wrapped a bullet and pre-measured amount of gunpowder together in wax paper, providing protection from rain and damp and ensuring a consistent shot every time. Land morale plus 0.1, infantry fire plus 0.15, cavalry fire plus 0.14. Yeah, the infantry are becoming far more powerful in fire. Troop fire is especially high. Diabetes liberty desire 0%. Sometimes I wonder if it's easier for tributary states to become disloyal. And what's even worse is that I'm only one tech ahead. Grexia in Miltech. The others, they're just... they've... yeah, they're the same level as I do in Miltech. They just get so much money and so they can always spend on a maximum number of points. So they can generally ignore the institution issues. Generally. Not perfectly, but often enough to become noticeable. Okay, that's a heavy thunderstorm. I am going to pause recording and save real quickly and finish this later. Last thing I need is for electricity to go out while I'm playing. Okay, we're back. Passed over after about half an hour-ish, so maybe longer. Alright, let's keep going. Assuming that it's going to be fine, assuming that there isn't some distant but vital power line that gets hit, and none of it's going to happen, right? No, well, actually, if it does happen, the video file would be corrupted, and literally this would not be something that would be heard, so... yeah! Either this sees the light of day and it didn't happen, or did it happen, and, well, I will mention it in the repeat. Because okay, right. I should grab at least 3 new ideas. Yep, okay, that should be fun. Is it? Yeah, it should be. Academic community. Paradigms might be constrictive, but personal biases are all the more insidious. The development of ideas should take place in the context of one's peers, allowing everyone to learn from others' experiences and mistakes. Global institution spread plus 15%. Naval studies. Between administration, warfare, and seafaring. Seafaring, more than the others, rewards study and punishes reliance on intuition. Without treated holes, well-preserved stores of sufficient variety, and an understanding of the natural world by which to navigate, most voyages would fail before they left harbor. Diplotech cost minus 15%. Tradition of change. There is nothing to be said for change's sake, but it has to be admitted that new and better ways appear more frequently than many are comfortable with. Only by making such disruption a part of our identity do we overcome this. Idea cost minus 10%. Should be good enough for now. Columbian exchange. When the Spanish made contact with the Americas, they discovered a new world filled with crops and animals alien to them. Soon plants such as maize, potatoes, and tobacco passed into the old world, while other crops like wheat and barley arrived in the new. By the late 16th century, the potato had made it way beyond the Spanish possessions into the rest of Europe, hoping to increase crop yields and make less arable land attractive for settlers. That allows a new idea group. And technically, there is no hit of time penalty all the way up to the next one. But I think I'll wait on selecting the idea group for a while. I would like to get naval force limit up to 50 so I can pick up exploration without needing to also do naval ideas. Because naval ideas. Joint stock companies. Trade overseas came with both great risks and rewards. By pooling their money, hundreds or thousands of merchants could set up an expedition that could travel across the world to trade in spices, slaves, and other commodities in a multi-year voyage. Such expensive ventures were written up as contracts in which each investor held a share of the profits commensurate with his investment. The most famous of these companies were the East India companies. Ship durability plus 2%, trade range plus 60, naval morale plus 0.1, settler growth plus 2, enables, well, not really a ship for me. So why not? Keep taking up. The Mercator projection. Advances in mathematics enabled the Flemish cartographer Gerardus Mercator to make a map using rhumb lines which represent constant course. Although this distorted the shape of the Earth, it made navigating the ship much easier. First invented in 1569, Mercator maps were adopted all over the following decades. Ship trade power plus 2%, colonial range plus 20, trade range plus 100, naval engagement width plus 10. Definitely getting shock cavalry, that's for sure. Beginning with Gustavus Adolphus, cavalry began to adopt thinner lines only 6 men deep. This dramatically increased their effective firepower and allowed for shock tactics. Combat width plus 2, maneuver plus 15%, cavalry shock plus 0.2. Enables new infantry. Frankish cannons until tech level 48. Yeesh. Only volley fire musketeers. Okay, we get our choice at 46 again. Still. God, Frankish cannons all the way up until regimental cannons. There's literally 20 levels. It's 2 centuries before I get a new artillery type. Oh, they're probably going to be really good. Or absolutely awful and not worth it. Okay. Let's remove the last of the exemptions. Promote the aristocratic faction. Yield concessions to ancient liberties. Promote support commerce. Perform a ship devotion. Expand our authority. Okay, I'm going to increase my military power temporarily. Because they're getting too big and too strong. Oh geez, the ruler's malevolent. That's probably why. Oh, I figured I would have to integrate them eventually. I would have hoped to expand a bit more down here before it rendered itself necessary. Might end up being the case anyway. Still don't have good enough autonomy. It's slowly heading that way. Power is so weak that I can no longer interact with the tribes. Okay, so they'll slowly vanish naturally on their own. From the last of the provinces. Yeah. Tribals are no longer going to be something I need to deal with. Gotta keep stability up. Okay. Okay, so if it says 615, he's getting a C straight from the capital. Well, good to know. Probably 3226. So this province is fairly important. Okay, 3231. Champasak, okay. 2733 is probably Hong Kong. No, it's pretty over here. Ah. Well, it doesn't have any river stuff to it, so. Okay, this one should definitely be able to build river stuff, so... That's a small city here. I'll get it some harborage, but not rank 3. However, for these provinces... Oh, wait. Alright, let's finish up real quickly. I think another electrical storm might be coming in. The weather. Let's grab one tick of each. The observation method. In the late 16th century, several thinkers began searching for new methods of critical thinking. The work of Francisco Sanchez in 1573 and Bernardino Talesio in 1586 helped to encourage skepticism and described a method of observation to form conclusions that would later become the basis of inductive reasoning. Urban production efficiency plus 1%. The Board of Admiralty. Lord Admiral was an appointed position by the ruler, usually during times of war. A truly professional navy called for its admirals to be commissioned officers. The Board of Admiralty replaced this earlier system with a group of Lords Commissioner, who sat on the board and decided promotions. Naval engagement with plus 5%, naval morale plus 0.5. Regular pay. Levied armies and mercenaries both had their limitations. Increasingly, rulers turned to permanent forces, but these troops demanded regular pay, something difficult for most rulers to accomplish. Reforms to the military administration to ensure a constant supply of pay for the troops helped to reduce desertion among these regulars. Cavalry flanking damage plus 5%, naval morale plus 0.25, land morale plus 0.1, infantry shock plus 0.15. Okay, now that we repealed all the tax exemptions, what next is the question. I need legitimacy and prestige, a bit too much to remove that. Diplomatic reputation is helpful in at least trying to get Sukhothai to be a bit less, yeah. They're too strong, plain and simple. I need to find ways to get stronger, and there's no easy way to do that other than to start overbuilding my army. Let's try that then. Hopefully that's enough. This is increasing prestige decay, so let's attack that. Restrict noble titles. Autonomy's still really bad. I was hoping to get it better, but... that's it for now. Promote support. commerce. Oh, no. I probably should not allow my prestige to go too low. So I'm not touching the clergy. Well, at least not with a performing a show of devotion. I can still donate to the church, which will dramatically increase their wealth, because I get so much tax income now. I don't know what to do with it. Well, I do in fact know what to do with it, but it's particularly taxing. Because I have to make decisions on a lot of things, but... Yeah, so, I've gone through, decided for innovativeness ideas, and I'm trying to work towards getting exploration. Without going through naval ideas, because naval ideas. In order to do that, though, I need 50 naval force limit, and right now it's at 35, which is good. At the start, it was of like 20s. And I've been working on building up infrastructure in order to, well, achieve that as best as I can manage. That's in fact what I've been doing lately. Investing into infrastructure and trying to get it to work well. Of course, coastal provinces are best for this. So they have been my main focus. But they are, of course, not the only possibility. River ports are also something that can work. But really, any upgrades are best for specifically improving communication efficiency, which is why there is some going on over here, but not all that much. Of course, I will continue to upgrade. I want to get level 4 harborages here, and that's what I will do. Bridge to rank 4. Honestly, the issue tends to be speed. I can only get so much constructed at once. Just rank 3. 4 is a bit much for this province for the time being. Don't want to cripple the province in case it needs more amenities and I can't provide. Although I don't know why this province has rank 4 amenities when there's only 39,000 residents. I guess the burghers built it up in preparation for what they presume to be a large amount of immigration, but people are emigrating from the province. Not nearly as fast as the province is growing, but still. As the population is growing, but still, that is something that's occurring. Well, I was previously going to say that it gets people more interested in the capital, but people are moving away here as well. And it's also the fact that population has outgrown the amenities here. It's still growing. It's because it's not that much above the amenities. I've noticed that it's more of a soft cap. Well, it's way more of a soft cap at the higher levels than it is at higher quantities of population than it is with lower quantities. Anyway, teched up, got a new idea group. I've also gone ahead and embraced scientific methods, so right now I'm kind of sort of working on global trade. France is already here though, which is... oh no. It's time to conquer Sulu or something. I've gotten bad luck because the current ruler of Sukhothai is malevolent, and I don't have a royal marriage with them, so... Liberty Desire is higher than I want it to be. I'm hoping to get extra Diplo rep in order to... well, I'm hoping things improve enough to the point where I can get them under control again. But if they are disloyal for long enough, they might find a backer, and then there's no way I can keep them. I probably should integrate them at some point soon. But I'm going to need their troops if I want to take on Malacca and Pagar. Yeah. And they're the best expansion target I can think of. Especially since there's their native provinces here. They'll probably end up taking Malayan culture as, well, a new accepted culture. Because there's so much Malayan culture. It's a massive culture. Anyway, I probably should stop now. There is a thunderstorm that seems to be coming in. Either that or I heard distant thunder from the previous thunderstorm. But it certainly looks like it's coming in. Possibly from the same direction it left. Which would be really annoying. But anyway, I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye. Admittedly, I only heard thunder once. Yeah. Better not risk it.